Okay. Yeah, so like I said, if you ever have a chance to have a blooming onion.
Yes. Oh, I love those. Many. Do you remember there was a place on Corden? They were called Orlando's.
Orlando.
It was one of like there's a few pretty. It's near Bar Italia. There's a couple of places where you actually step down below street level, and it's about 8 steps down, and it's like a basement location.
Oh, no.
Anyway, there's a couple of them around. Anyway, to go to Orlando's, you went up the steps,
Right.
and it was a pretty fancy restaurant for the Corden area. And once Annette and I we went there, and we had baked garlic heads.
Garlic head.
They take complete garlic heads and they roast it. They roasted
Oh, yeah.
garlic heads, and when it's roasted, you squeeze it out and it's a mush, right?
Oh,
You
yeah.
take a knife and you put this stuff on bread. And
Oh,
it,
it's like
it takes the fire out of it.
It's like a paste.
Yeah, like a paste. Man, Ron, that stuff was so good.
Really?
And I don't even remember what the entree was, but we both were eating the roasted garlic. So, and we go home after,
Oh, God.
sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
The cat came, sat between us, got a look, and it left.
Oh, it's just really is.
It was just all this
What
garlic
the
stink.
hell is
all this
going on?
garlic stink was just totally coming out of the pores, right?
Yeah.
So the same thing, the same effect you get with blooming onion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that stuff.
At which point you don't care.
No, of course not.
All you smell. It tastes so good.
Yeah, I'm not exactly here trying to hustle somebody.
Yeah. Hiya, honey.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah, I really couldn't care less about giving a great first impression. I just want my onion. Yeah, I know that was cool. Yeah. Still.
Yeah. Oh, got a phone call from Andy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, around just after, just before Diane arrived.
Okay.
Yeah, he was asking, wanted to check out how I liked the Super Bowl
Oh, yeah.
and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he a football fan too?
he is, but he's very picky as to what, like obviously he's at Bomber games.
Yeah.
He'll watch, and he'll watch certain NFL playoff games and the Super Bowl, of course.
Right.
You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So he's not a fanatic like I am.
No.
But
Are you fanatic, Ron?
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I would. Of course, I got a subscription to. Diane got me a subscription to Sports Illustrated when I was about 17.
Oh, yeah. Well, you had one of those on Bannatyne, didn't you?
Well, I did,
Yeah.
and I quit it for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
But she knew I really
Yeah.
liked it,
Wow.
because occasionally I would borrow it from. I would go to the library,
Yeah.
and if it was they had a copy there, I would borrow it.
Yeah.
So she knew I liked it. So she kind of renewed it for me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I've had it I've had it,
know.
and then they made the fatal flaw. Like Sports Illustrated is probably the best known sports magazine.
Yes.
Okay, because the big thing is, if your image or face gets on Sports Illustrated cover,
Yeah.
that's a big deal, right?
Right.
And a few years ago, I guess they decided, well, the internet hit, right?
Right.
And all of a sudden, see, they would cover a lot of games specifically and write about it.
Yeah.
And they felt that the audience was changing, which it was,
Right.
and that the younger people, why would they wait for a magazine to read about a game when they could get it instantly?
Right.
So they were retaining the older, like me,
Right.
but the older and the new crowd they couldn't get.
Oh,
So they went to a one magazine every 2 weeks instead of weekly.
like a print magazine.
Right.
Okay,
And of course, there was less coverage
right.
because all of a sudden, right? They didn't want to increase the amount of paper they had to print,
Right.
right? Shipping costs were going up. And then the next year, of course, they went to once a month.
They weren't particularly interested in hanging on to the print customers, were they?
No,
This was their subtle way of squeezing you guys.
they were because they didn't chase me.
No.
Because normally, if magazines,
Yeah.
if you don't renew it,
Yeah.
they'll send you 3, 4,
Yeah.
even freebies,
Yeah.
and saying, "Hey, we believe you've forgotten to renew this,"
Yeah.
but they didn't chase me,
No.
and that was it. Like I figured, well, and when they came out with the once a month issue,
Yeah.
they dropped the coverage of individual games,
Okay.
and they went to more personality.
Oh, like a People magazine,
Yeah.
but sports people.
Yeah, and I
Oh,
thought,
okay.
oh, you guys missed the boat with me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's when I simply didn't renew it,
Yeah.
and they didn't chase me, like I said.
Yeah.
But so I don't. Does that magazine exist in print anymore? I don't
I
know,
don't know.
but it went from the biggest. It had circulation of millions
Mm-hmm.
to could be zilch. That just shows you how fast.
Well, you know that. Well, the internet was a huge disruption,
Oh,
and everybody prefers digital publication. Like producers
right.
prefer the digital. I mean, it's so much cheaper, right?
So much
when you're
cheaper.
not dealing with printing and shipping costs and everything
You're-
else.
Plus your deadlines
Your deadlines.
can be much closer.
Yeah, yeah. It can be more to the moment. Oh, for sure, it's a huge disruptor. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I noticed a lot of the one thing I liked about Sports Illustrated and people didn't get was their writers were first rate.
Yes.
I mean, some of the stories in there
Yeah.
I actually kept because they were so well written.
Yeah.
And I noticed that over the past few years, the Sports Illustrated writers switched over to TV or their own blog,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. They weren't writing for the print publications.
No,
Oh, okay.
no, they shift a lot of big figures that were
Yeah.
really well known and could get access to the biggest sports figures.
Okay.
They switched over to now there's a lot of talk shows.
Yeah.
Sports talk
Like
shows,
sports theme. Yeah. Okay.
sports themes.
Yeah.
Pardon my interruption's a big one, but basically they're employed, but they're employed in blogging or TV.
Okay. You never really became a fan of that guy with the Globe and Mail, Cathal Kelly?
No.
Oh man, he wrote such good stuff. He wrote a book. He did like a reminiscence of, growing up in the '60s and stuff like that. Quite similar to what
Right.
we had growing up as feral children, almost on the streets. But his writing for the Globe and Mail was absolutely outstanding. I should see if there's some old legacy ones that I can dig up for you, because his articles were so
Oh, yeah.
good. He would really go underneath the surface
Right.
of whatever issue was happening, and he would give you the whole backstory on it, and
Yeah.
he'd give you a lot of insight on why this developed the way it did.
Right. Right.
Very, very good writer. I haven't had a Globe and Mail in a long time. I don't even know if he's still.
Still around?
Yeah, I don't even know if he's still around, to tell you the truth, but he was really good.
Yeah, you
Enjoyed
don't.
his writing. And I usually don't read about sports, but his
Right.
stuff I read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's that's the one thing is you know, and you get it. I still have my free press,
Right.
and I still read the sports,
Yeah.
but the rarely do you get a piece that's covers anything in depth. It's like don't write a story that's more than 100 words long. People are not they're not going to get they're going to look at it and say too long.
Well, that is a legacy of the digital
Yeah.
productions because
Wow.
and you know what, I'm guilty of it myself. If I find that this is going to be a real long article
Right.
that I have to scroll through forever,
Right.
I'm going to leave it for another time.
Which
And I begin with the shorter stuff.
right.
So you multiply me by how many other millions of other idiots are out there logging into these things.
And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
People with a shorter attention span.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, so how do you develop a story? Right?
Right.
When you're so limited by the number of words you can use.
Yeah.
It's almost an impossibility.
Yeah.
So I miss that
Yeah.
because it's obvious that a lot of these guys are under a kind of a word deadline.
Yeah.
Oh, too long. Yeah, we haven't even read it yet. I know, but it's too long. Right?
It's too wordy.
It's too wordy.
It's a word funny. It's too wordy. You're using too many words.
Yeah.
Can you throw a couple of pictures in there and summarize?
See, they probably have. I'm sure that the editors
Yeah.
they get a story and it tells them exactly how many words.
Yeah.
And if the ticker says 115, sorry, George, you're gonna have to
George.
change this.
You're assuming his name's George.
Yeah, George, you're gonna have to change this. Why? It's too long. If you haven't read it, I know what the computer says.
The computer says you're full of shit.
It won't pass. I'm sorry. Will not go.